Happy holidays, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Chelley Roy Show. I am your host, Chelley Roy, and we have an amazing show for you guys tonight. Fully packed, fully loaded. You guys are in for a treat tonight, you guys. I pray that you guys are having a great week so far. I pray you guys are being safe and sanitized. We have an amazing, I can't stress enough, an amazing show for you guys tonight. I want to first start off with thanking our sponsors. Our sponsors are very important. I want to start off by saying that the Chelley Roy Show is sponsored by Liquid Lipo, where you can lose up to a pound a day. The Chelley Roy Show is also sponsored by FruFit Affordable Fitness. We're also sponsored by Triple Eye Candy Party and Kids Rentals. You guys, we have some amazing guests. I can't stress that enough. I hope you guys are having a great holiday. I hope you're ready for the holiday season. Super excited to be here. Up next, after the break, we have Mr. Alan Genesis. We also have Miss Donna Haynes and singer-songwriter Miss Beth. We'll be back after the break.
Can you hear the guy? You're not?
Camera.
Welcome back to the Chelley Roy Show, guys. My next guest is an author of Cincinnati Doe. She's also the founder and CEO of DMV Moms. You guys help me welcome my next guest, Miss Donna Haynes. Welcome, Donna. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Chelley.
Absolutely. So first off, I want to say, how are you guys doing during this pandemic, and are you guys being safe and sanitized?
Absolutely, we're doing great.
Good.
Because
you look amazing.
Thank you very much. I had to try to live up to your standards a little bit.
You did that.
Yeah, but we're doing great. I have a son who has an underlying condition. He has a traumatic brain injury.
Yes.
So if he were to contract COVID-19, we have no idea how it would affect his body.
Yes.
So we have to be super cautious and making sure we're careful about where he goes, who he's around, social distancing, the whole nine. But we're doing fine. Thank you for asking.
I'm so glad you guys are doing fine. It's so good to meet Cam and to see you guys both. So let's get into it. So who is Donna Haynes and what's your story?
So I'm Donna Haynes, everyone. I'm born and raised in the DMV area. 2 kids, regular old mom, ex-wife, the whole nine.
Okay.
But my entire family has been impacted directly by gun violence, which is what led me to create a support group. It's called DMV Mothers Like Me, actually. And it prompted me to be a new author, actually, during the pandemic.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much.
Definitely. So how does it feel to be a new author, and what was that process like?
Oh my God, I didn't mean to be.
Yes, of course.
I didn't mean to be an author, but because of what we have gone through, why don't I start by explaining to the audience what actually happened. As I said, all of us have been impacted by gun violence. 3 of us were not actually injured, but my youngest son, unfortunately, was shot in the head as a result of a attempted robbery. But after numerous brain surgeries, months of rehabilitation, he survived. He is a walking miracle.
Amen.
Yes. And so during that process, while we spent several days in the hospital, I kept a journal to help me kind of cope, try to track, medications, just things that were happening during that time. And just like most of your viewers during the pandemic, it made me slow all the way down. He was shot 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
But during the pandemic, I had a lot of time on my hands.
Absolutely.
So I picked up that journal and I started typing it up just so he could have it to look back on, reflect on, so he would know what actually happened to him.
Absolutely.
And the more I wrote, the more I wanted to write, the more emotions started flowing, the more I remembered. And before I knew it, I had a full manuscript.
Yeah, and
so
it happens like
it
that.
does.
It really
on
does
accident,
happen like
right?
that. Yeah.
And so I went to my son and I asked him, hey, Cam, what do you think about publishing this and making this an actual book?
Yeah.
And he was with it 100%. So here we are. We have a full book. Yes.
That's awesome. So author to author, I do understand the process that's involved in writing a book. And like you said, you go from, just really putting thoughts to paper.
Right.
And then as you start thinking and putting it to paper, you remember certain things. And then you do, start to have like this adrenaline and this feeling of, oh, I can do this. And then you have so much more to say.
Absolutely.
So let's take a step back. 2 years prior, I know you just published the book and really just started writing the book this year, but 2 years ago was really more of a priority and a focus for you to really help Cam get back to health and get the necessary healing that he really needed. So talk to me a little bit about what that process was like.
Well, initially, the main thing I relied on was my faith to help me get through that process. And I'll be the first to admit that I questioned my faith a time or two.
Of course.
But when you realize when you have nothing else to lean on, your faith is all you have to lean on.
Absolutely.
So that was number one. We had a tremendous support system.
That's awesome.
Friends, family, classmates, neighbors, coworkers, everybody came out to support us. It was incredible. During that time, I also found support groups online for traumatic brain injury that I never even knew
Which is very
existed.
Necessary.
Exactly.
Very
for gunshot
necessary.
victims, survivors. And though we had family and friends surround us that were supportive, though that community was who actually helped me, gain confidence to cope, because I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, no, it's definitely hard from one survivor to another. I too was also impacted by gun violence.
So you know what a support group is like.
Well, actually, I don't know. That's what I was going to say. When my mom was actually murdered, there probably was some support groups, but I just wasn't privy to them and I didn't know about them. So I felt like, a lot of the things that were available now as far as the support groups I could have benefited from back then, but I wasn't able to. So I can imagine what the support groups do and how helpful they are. I think it's a really great
necessary.
Thing. It's very, very necessary.
And then another thing I did, which is a risque topic in the Black community, I had a therapist.
Yeah.
Which is very, very necessary. I still have a therapist because, the process continues.
Necessary. Absolutely.
So that was very important.
Never let anybody make you feel like you don't
Oh,
need
never.
one.
I encourage it, as a matter of fact.
Necessary. It's very necessary.
It's how I get through.
Absolutely.
And then lastly, just watching my son, just his resilience. And, his push, him wanting to get better and him rehabilitating, that gave me inspiration every day. I can't complain. Who am I to complain?
I can only imagine. Well, we're going to come right back. We're going to go to a quick break and we'll get to meet Cam when we come back.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Chelley Roy Show, guys. I am joined here with Mr. Cam Dasher, victim of gun violence. Help me welcome Cam. Welcome, Cam. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for being open to share your story with us. So for myself and the audience, give us an idea of how gun violence has impacted your life.
So really, all I can really say is the biggest impact it's had. I can say, really is the emotional impact.
Of course.
That's really, to me, it's bigger than the physical impact it's had. Not only emotions, as in being sad, depressed,
Of course.
anxious.
Yes.
It's just a few things where you kind of look back, and it's like it's kind of changed my perspective on a lot of things in life.
Of course.
I say that as an emotional term. Really, the biggest emotional I feel daily is it's relief. Honestly, I say honestly, this could have been a lot worse.
Absolutely.
A lot worse.
You're truly blessed.
So
A
I
walking
say
miracle.
exactly. So I say relief because I'm able to see another 24 hours,
Absolutely.
another day.
I love
so.
that. And you have an amazing mom.
Thank you.
An amazing support. Don't do it
Thank you.
because you got me tearing up. So you have an amazing mom
Thank you.
and an amazing support system, which is really
Thank you.
needed and which is what really helps
Definitely.
a person through. So explain to me how you feel about your mom writing a book and just sharing your overall ordeal and your story.
So it's actually funny you say that, or you asked that. So when she first brought the idea to me about writing a book, of course I knew she was journaling the whole time I was in the hospital or ICU. But when she came to me about writing a book about it, at first I was kind of iffy, because of course who wants to be in that kind of light, but down the road, I would say maybe about after she began writing it, I felt like it's when my mindset on the whole ordeal kind of changed,
right,
as to where
you be helping somebody.
Yeah, it's not really kind of like embarrassing. It's kind of like motivating.
Absolutely.
To a point. It's kind of like a story you can tell.
Absolutely.
So I kind of felt actually glad that she wrote it. I was kind of glad at a certain point. Yeah.
And that took courage to, allow her to share your most vulnerable moments. And it took courage to come sit with me on the show and share your story. So
Thank you.
Really amazing. So if you could tell young folks who have been impacted by gun violence one thing, what would that one thing be?
Oh, one thing I would say, don't try to betray someone who you're not, because then others will think you're who you're exactly. Yeah. So you wanna stay true to who you actually are.
Amen.
You don't want to act like someone who you're not, because like I said, then that's gonna be the status quo, right? Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
making yourself a target.
Exactly.
No, I agree. I agree. So before we close out, do you want to share with us what your social media handles are, where we can get the book? And Cam, if you're on social media, if you want to share your handles, you can go first, Donna.
Yeah, I'm social media. I'm like you, Chelley. I'm kind of trying to figure out my balance with social media, but I am newly on Instagram, and that is D Marie Haynes, Haynes. You can get the book. Actually, this is what the book looks like here. You can go on our website, and the website is cincinnatidoe.com, and there's a button on there where you can actually purchase the book. We're on Amazon as well. We're trending on Amazon thanks to my preferred readers.
Absolutely.
So you can actually search for us on Amazon as well.
Okay, perfect. What about you, Cam?
Yes, I'm actually on Instagram at you can find me on Instagram at BCFBAM. That's BCF_BAM, BAM, and then Twitter at Uberman Cam, Uber, like the Uber car.
Yes.
Then man as in MAN, then Cam, CAM. So those are my two handles. And also as well, I kind of use my Instagram as a business platform, really, because I have my own business. So
Absolutely. Let us have it.
So I trade foreign exchange. So,
Okay.
I trade foreign exchange. I invest in foreign exchange, and so I work with this business. And what we do is we teach you how to trade foreign exchange as well as market your business. So you can trade foreign exchange, and as well, you know.
Give us that website and Instagram.
So the website or the company is called IML, I Am Masters Academy. And then that's on my Instagram as well. So, you know, the link is in my bio on Instagram.
Perfect.
So,
Well, thank you so much, Cam.
No problem.
Thank you, Donna, for being
you.
here and sharing your story with us.
Thank you, Chelley. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. We're going to go to a quick break. We'll be back shortly. I want to thank you guys. You guys have been an amazing audience, amazing guests. Thank you so much to Miss Beth Manley again. Thank you so much to Miss Donna Haynes and Cam. And last but not least, Mr. Alan Genesis himself. Thank you so much. And to all of my guests and my social media followers, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I am getting emotional. Happy New Year, guys, from the Chelley Roy Show.